Hey everyone, welcome back to another video for me. Join me today as I delve into this studio transformation chasm. Enjoy. Hey everyone, so I am back in the studio to try and sort some things out. One thing I want to do today is these woods behind me. I put them on the pallet. So that's how they're going to be stored, just so that they are off the floor, because there can be potential water that comes into this area of the barn. And what I don't want is, if it gets really wet outside, the water can just kind of flood this whole area. Until we sort out the outside, I need to kind of sort some things out inside. And one of the ways to do that is obviously putting the wood on the pallets, but the issue is that it's still wood in contact with the cement floor. So when I did this, my wife pointed out that point and said that we're going to have to put some bricks underneath. So what I'm going to do now is actually just put some bricks underneath. But for me to do that, I actually have to move all the wood off of it, take the pallets up, put some bricks on the floor, put the pallets back on, and then put the wood back. So I'm going to do that. I've got my headphones in, pap. Going to get my gloves on and get on with it. Another thing I should have mentioned is, if you are out there doing this type of stuff, is to actually wear a mask. I should have worn one, because there's all kinds of dust and God knows what built up for years. So it's really important to wear a mask, so make sure you do, as I should have done in this. Now that that's done, I'm going to put the bricks down. I also realised while I was doing that, there's actually more wood that needs to be arranged in this space. And I'm just wondering of whether or not I should actually do that now or just leave it. I might try and do a little bit now. Yeah. So over the last 10 years, we've done 2 major renovations, and throughout that time we've collected all these odd pieces of wood, thinking, okay, you know what, we may use them one day. They're not going to be handy now, but we'll just store them at one place. So if we get a bigger place one day, I'm sure it'll become useful. And one of those pieces of wood was this long piece of MDF, thin 8mm MDF or 9mm, can't remember. Right there, that one in the middle, it has been bloody annoying, because we know it will be useful, but it is just so awkward to move around and store. Right, that's all I'm going to deal with for the moment. That worktop over there, that kitchen worktop, I can probably use that somewhere here as a kind of desk space, because we've got loads of legs around somewhere where I can just kind of screw onto the bottom. This thin piece of long MDF doesn't exist. You can't see it, neither can I.
A few moments later.
So you can see that I ended up just biting the bullet and just moving it anyway, but it was such a awkward piece of wood. It was all bowed and everything, and I just thought, anyway, I thought let me just sort it out now so I don't have to worry about it later. But it's just kind of in an awkward position like it has been for years. But there it is. So hopefully one day I'll be able to take it out of that awkward position and use it. But for the time being, it's stored there with all the rest of the other stuff that I bought from that middle section and the stuff that I already had there leaning before I moved everything to put the bricks down. Okay, right, so I'm done with that. Let's move on to the next thing. Right, so a lot of this stuff, these fabrics, Well, basically in a different building on our land. It was in what we call the summer house, which is basically an outdoor cabin. And unfortunately, it got, because we left it in there for such a long time, like over winter. It seems like, well, it doesn't seem like it was. The mice got to it. So what we've been doing, instead of throwing it away, I mean, we're quite big on trying to recycle as much as possible and make sure we just don't throw things away. And a lot of this stuff is like really good fabric. So what I've been doing over the course of like maybe 2 or 3 weeks is just sorting all this stuff out, washing it thoroughly, and then just kind of folding it up and boxing it up in like airtight containers, plastic containers. Obviously, plastic's the only thing we can really use to kind of contain them, so they're not like exposed to any kind of like mice, rats, God forbid, or like moths. So that's what we've been doing over the last few weeks. I've still got quite a lot more to do. This pile was like 4 times as big as it was now a few weeks ago. So yeah, that's my next task. You know, I don't know why, but while I was folding up these cloths and material, I thought, like, what the hell am I doing? What has this got to do with, like, you know, this channel, you know, being creative, being a potter, ceramicist, whatever it is, being an artist? What has this got to do with that? But while I was doing this, I felt really happy that I was doing it. And I felt like this was one of those like memorable things that I'll think about back in the day. And just, you know, when you've gone through a lot of difficulty and challenge in achieving something, I thought that, you know what, this is one of those things that I'm going to remember. I'm going to remember folding up those clothes and washing it and putting in these boxes and storing them away. This was all part of the challenge of going from what the studio is now into what the studio will become in the future. I guess it was just because it was such a different experience to what I expect setting up a studio to be like. So back to cleaning up the studio. While I was doing this, one of the things I was actually really looking forward to is just bagging up all this rubbish. And it's really unfortunate and super annoying that I managed to collect about 4 bags of rubbish. And now, where I am in Wales, and I don't know if it's throughout Wales, but certainly where I am, they only allow you to throw away 3 rubbish bags every 3 weeks. So they'll do the rubbish collection every 3 weeks, and they've got a 3-bag limit. And I had 4 bags, so I thought, you know what, let me just leave 4 out there. You know, we don't always have rubbish collected. And they didn't do it. They put a sticker on one of the bags saying, oh, there's too many bags of rubbish, we can't take them. And I was just like, come on, man, do you know how much council tax we pay in this bloody place? I was just super annoyed. But anyway, I managed to just clear all this stuff up, you know, arrange some of the cabinets that are already there, some of the other kind of paraphernalia, I'll call it, but they're like tables and stuff that we have that we use. And I actually managed to put this work table up, as you'll see in the next clip. Right, so after being in here for like the better part of an hour and a half, I've changed my mind, as always. And I decided to just have that as a kind of workbench area. Obviously, that stuff needs to get sorted out. That area is basically got all of these posts, like fence posts. There's like a massive stack of them. And those metal grills, which certainly the posts and everything, they can go outside in the open barn area because it's just wood. Those posts, the metal grills will have to stay in here, I think. And then I need to kind of sort out all of that wood stuff. I mean, a lot of it are like offcuts of stuff, of like MDF and whatnot. Those bamboos, they can go outside in the open barn area. But what I'm really happy about is this. Look at that. This is my desk space now. I don't know if it certainly wasn't pallets, but it was on the floor here, just here, where they had like all the kind of bits of wood, and then we put more of our stuff on top of it. So other than it needing a bit of a clean, that is going to be my workspace where I can do my clay work, which is awesome because it's actually a massive little desk. I think what I might need to do is just trim off the edge there a little bit and maybe put some brackets and just secure it to this wall just to keep it steady, because at the moment it's not steady. So I might do that the next time around. So there you have it. That is the video for today. It's like day 4 or 5. Well, it's not really days, but it's been the fourth or fifth day where I spent some time, a couple of hours or an hour, just to kind of sort things out and just get this area or space okay enough for me to just like start doing artwork and make some sculptures. I've got so many ideas in mind that I want to just get on with. So maybe I think the next video or something, I might have a bit more kind of cleaning and sorting out of stuff. And then I'm just going to kind of crack on with some ideas of mine that I've got, which I'm looking forward to. Guaranteed, when I start, I'm probably not going to know where to start. I'm really happy that I was able to sort out those woods and put those bricks underneath, because a week later we had some friends over, so I wasn't able to do anything in this Dutch barn. But it started raining that week a lot, and you can see how much from that door, how much water ingresses into the building and onto the concrete floor. So I'm really glad I got that done. That's more or less it for this week. Again, still no artwork in this video. I don't know if I feel discouraged. Well, I know how I feel. I feel like a kind of pull between two things. One side of me is like really excited, like, wow, like, you know, if this Dutch one is going to be our studio and I'm going to make it into our studio, that's brilliant. You know, that's kind of what I wanted when we first moved in here. You know, me and my wife discussed some other things, but then we decided on something else, which is great. But now we've come to the point where this is going to be the Dutch barn. This is going to be our studio and we're going to go for it. So I feel really excited about that. You know, I know that there's a few more things for me to sort out before I can just kind of get a desk in there and just start getting on with my pottery work. But the other side of me feels like really frustrated and discouraged and a bit scared because, you know, it is a big thing to try and make this into like a functioning building, basically, where there's an art studio and there's a free space to do other stuff, you know, maybe so we can have like workshops. I would really love for one day people to be able to come here and just like, you know, they have their free space, they can make their artwork. That's what I want. But that seems like such a distant thing. And that's what makes me frustrated. Like, when am I going to get there? I know that all of this will kind of build up to that point, but it's just like you're having to do all these, like, what I think of as like faffy things on the roads to achieve your goal. So, but I guess I need to just get on with it.